Good morning, and that's some expensive toilet roll you've got yourself there, Aaron. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Accountant, our weekly live show brought to you by Ask the Accountant Network. This is episode 153, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Aaron Patrick. Aaron, how are you, and how was your week?
For the listeners, I was reading a brand new book. I can't put it down. Buying a Business the Smart Way by Johann Goree. It's so good, he named it twice. So on the back, it's Buying a Business, Buying a Business. And then the very first part is Buying a Business the Smart Way.
Yeah.
It's so good, he named it 3 times. No, all good. Busy weekend, but a good weekend, really positive. I got a lot of things going on at the moment. I was even given homework for the first time in however long. I've got a meeting today, and I was given homework for it. So yeah, all in a positive way. What about yourself, Johann? Oh, Formula One wise, just quick. We don't want to spend too long on this, but yeah, really good race in terms of the prospects of the end of the year. So it was good. It wasn't the best race in the world, let's be 100% honest, but a good race to kind of spice things up a little bit, which we like to see, don't we? So yeah, good race overall and good weekend. What about yourself, Johann?
I had one of my favorite kind of weekends. I spent most of it sat on the sofa with a laptop watching the F1. So, and on the laptop, I was testing proposals for Engager. So that is going very well, very cool, very little feedback for the team. They've absolutely nailed it. So yeah, going really well with that. So we should see that coming out in the next couple of weeks, which is exciting. So yeah, other than that, a chilled weekend. I mean, it's windier out there now than it was during Storm Amy. I'm not really sure what they were whinging about, but
I was going to say, we were all worried and prepared about it, but or thinking about it. But was there actually anything this time? Or did it just pass UK by?
My food bin did blow over and then get blown about 20 meters down the street. What was more impressive is it had to go across, down, and then across and up. I'm not quite sure how it managed that.
All right, in that instant, though, there's no casualties, no.
Nothing this end, no. I know a lot of people further north in Scotland had quite a lot of power outages for quite a long time.
Worse.
But it certainly wasn't an amber weather warning required in Edinburgh, that's for sure. But the problem is, like, that amber weather warning was issued. Like, places closed down because of predicted weather. The local farmers market didn't open. There's photos on social media for Portobello Beach, which is normally on a Saturday and a Sunday, just rammed. Like, you're pushing past people. You think Accountex London gets busy. This is worse. And like, this is the money-making weekend for these businesses. Every weekend, empty. Literally, there's photos of going up and down and videos going up and down the promenade. Nobody there. And it's a perfectly nice day. But because there's an amber weather warning, those businesses have just lost one of their prime trading weekends because of a weather warning that didn't really need to be in place in Edinburgh.
Yeah, I get that. It's cautious, isn't it? That's what it is.
It is. It's a shame.
While you mention Accountex, because we won't have time to talk about anywhere else, go and have a look at Excel's official. So this is the venue, the Excel in London. They have an official YouTube channel, and they released a video yesterday, and it was them like promoting how good the Excel is for people, all about Accountex. And Caroline's in it, and you've got your Sage person in it, you've got all this other stuff in it. It was really, really, really good. Like, it was literally, they're saying like one of their best performing, one of their best events of the year is Accountex. So yeah, go and have a look. It's on their official Excel YouTube channel.
And that's a line in the sand for the digital accountancy show to try and achieve, isn't it?
Right, I know, that's really put the pressure on, hasn't it?
Christ. Brilliant. Well, as always, we're not here just for the fact that Aaron and I like to get around these microphones and have a chat. We're here to include our community as well. And I'm just going to say it, I'm loving the amount of people that are on YouTube watching this live. That is fantastic. So Good morning to Cheryl. 8:30 on the dot, as always, Cheryl. Good morning. Everyone survived the storm damage free. Well, I have to go and get my bin back.
Any more stories out there? Do tell us in the comments.
Yeah. The bookkeeper superhero. Morning all. So morning to Natasha. Good morning from Kirsty. AIM GB Accountants, aka Peter, says good morning from Sky Blue Coventry. Love it.
Nice.
Dave's here. Good morning, everyone from London. Hope you all had a great weekend. Paul Whitehouse has joined us. Good morning. Clive Hand, the QuickBooks accountant from Ireland, is tuning in. Good morning, chaps. Good morning, Clive. Juliet is here. Good morning to Juliet. Nicola's here as well, so good morning. And Paul Whitehouse says, I was watching the storms from Florida. Oh, that's that's a whole new concept of social distancing. Oh, there's a storm, I'll go Florida. And the big concern was the two hurricanes combined over the Atlantic headed to Europe, which created Storm Amy. Didn't last long here. And good morning to Josh Silver as well. Good morning, Josh. Fantastic. Right.
We've got one more on Instagram as well. Good morning to Tim the accountant, who just said good morning.
Good morning. Fantastic. Right, let's get on with this. We've got a lot to crack on with, as per usual. So, first of all, before we look forwards, let's look backwards. You and I were in London on Tuesday night for the annual Accounting Excellence Awards. What an event. Like, everyone says Xero know how to put on a party. No one knows how to put an award ceremony on like the Accounting Excellence Awards. They did an absolute sterling job. A few bits I would change and a few new ideas this year that I'd turn around and say I'd scrap that. That was awful. Like now giving us winners, silver, bronze, and then the rest. So if you don't get bronze or silver, you know, not only do you know you didn't win, you kind of know roughly how far you didn't win by. It was quite demoralizing. But yeah, other than that, what a night. It was just spectacular. So well organized. Good food as well.
I'd say best food we've had for a long time. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts, Aaron? How did you find it?
You nailed it on the head with the event. Like, for saying there's such a small team, I never understand how such a small team can manage to produce that sort of event. Absolutely stellar. I still, every time I'm there, sit down, I just like chuckle to myself when the voice of the lottery is there in the background, even when he has to say, like, you know what I mean? Like, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Great event. Really love the fact that it's about celebrating excellence, all that sort of stuff. Absolutely love. I agree with you about the bronze, silver, and everything else. I feel like that almost derailed it a little bit. I like the idea that it means that they can give out the the assets. So if you are a silver award winner, you get to proudly show that, and I love that bit. But you're right. Like when there's a category of 4. And you're the 4th, it's a little bit demoralizing. But in our, like, full disclosure, that's what happened to us, the accountant. We were up for an award. Amazing. Really, really, like, just seeing our name in the book was just like fantastic. But it did kind of showcase some of the maybe politics or something that's involved in it, because we were kind of like talking to people around afterwards and stuff like that, and it was like there was a vocal minority who was like they should never have even been in that category, like that's not the category it was designed for. And they're right, but we had no other category to go for. And it's like, as much as I love the current event, I just feel like, is there a way we can make this more of a talking point? Like, it'd be great if we could dedicate a whole episode, right, to Accounting Excellence Awards, like talk about the highs and lows and all this and the other. But when it's the categories that they are, and everyone was a fully deserving winner, but at the same time, like, where do we get to debate about it? Like, who are we to say if the audit category, like the judges are excellent, of course the best candidate won, right? Like, fine, there's no debate there, is there? But if they had and it's coming back to it, but if they had like a vendor category, which tribal, like we can debate about it, we can talk about that, right? If for example, like the best MTD product came along, we know that there's only two real contenders for that, like out and out, like top contenders. If Zero came along and won that category, there's a debate. It's like, whoa, like they haven't produced an MTD product. You know what I mean? Like that's where we could have a conversation, have a chat, have a talk about it. And I just feel like the only one downside I have of the event at the moment is it comes and it goes, and like everyone we wanted to win on the night unfortunately didn't come away with the victory, right? And that's how the cookie crumbles, and that's fine. Like again, the judges know exactly what they're doing, so they've obviously chosen the right person for the right one. But we can't really debate about that. Listen, that's unfair on the person who won, right? Like they won because they deserved to win. But if it was down to vendors and there was more like those sort of categories, and I get it's, you know, there's two things for it, right? A, they don't want the bad blood, but I feel like we're all adults here. Like we can have a debate. We don't have to have like, you know, slinging mud competition. But also I know that they come back to, well, no one wants to fund it, right? Well, then don't fund it. Like they could be sponsored by Fab, they could be sponsored by Accounting, you know, the Accounting for Taste podcast, right? They could be, you know, sponsorships that are just promoting the accounting excellence and the, you know, accounting web brand, right? Like that's where I see that. And I just feel like we could have had so much more post show talking about that and having those debates, because that's what the others that give the vendor ones have, right? Like we debate over the vendors, we debate over that tribal element of it. So I hope it has an opportunity to evolve. I hope we get that chance to have that come back, because I know it was there before and it kind of had to go away, but I just think that this is the time to bring it back.
Regardless of vendors, I think there should be, like, with promoting excellence in the sector, and in theory, in my mind, that's excellence that portrays the accounting industry and bookkeeping industry in the best positive light. Well, why are we not recognizing leading, like Accounting Web, for their own news articles?
Yeah,
like, you know, there should be a category for the best article of the year that made a real impact. There should be a category for the best social media or podcast or whatever it is. There should be categories like that, because actually they're the ones that are getting a wider audience aware of the accounting and bookkeeping industry and actually showing the true nature of it still today.
Yeah.
Whereas most people that come into interaction with accounting and bookkeeping, they just assume it's suits and ties and boring aging people. Whereas actually it's not, but we don't recognize and celebrate those that are making that change.
Yeah, 100%. And us having to shoehorn ourselves in just to be there, just it felt wrong, right? It was wrong, and we got rightly criticized for it by, you know, by the community over that, right? Like over the fact that we were shoehorning ourselves in a place we shouldn't be in. But yeah, I hope this is the opportunity for them to bring us something so we can talk about the awards ceremony, because it almost becomes at the moment that we're going for the show and the event and the catch up and the community, and they're all right things to go for. Wouldn't it be cool as well if we could go for the debate and the, you know, and everything about the awards itself? Because again, like I said, I can't take anything away from any of the winners. They're all deserving winners. Like it would be unfair for me to sit here and go, well, I can't believe so and so won because I thought it was so and so. Right? That's unfair. But
I also think
absolutely, it's fair game, isn't it?
Yeah. I also think, though, that there should be more transparency about the applications. So the lottery man says the judges were impressed with X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. If this is a real learning moment for us all, those applications should be made relatively transparent to everybody to review and learn from. Because at the moment, all we know is such and such a firm won Medium Firm of the Year. We don't actually know, and we can't learn from them of what they're doing. So actually, it doesn't better the industry.
Yeah. And it might give more incentive. I don't know about you, but, and I know your view is that, you know, you don't like self application. You've got your reasons for that, right? But I'm not 100% against self-review, just because for me as a practitioner, it's my only time to do like an appraisal, right? Like that's what I use it for and done it. Right. I mean, I say that it's all in past tense. I don't have time. I don't have the capacity. I don't have anything. You know, I'm not inclined to go and put my name forward these days to put it through there, because I know how much work is involved and everything else. And I just feel like maybe seeing some of the other applications may quell my fear there, because my fear is that, well, I could be the world's best like XYZ, but if I don't put X amount of effort into my application, it's not going to go anywhere, right? And but it could be the way around. I could not be so good, but I could put an amazing application in and come out on top. Like that's where that bit becomes flawed, right? And everything else. But if we could see the applications and see what was put out, I think that gives us an opportunity to maybe put our names forward again, or you know, whatever the reason might be that you're not putting his name forward. And maybe that just gives more. I mean, it'd be more work for the judges because there'll be more applications, but that's a good thing, right? Like we want to offer that there. So yeah, I feel like hopefully this is the time when a few tweaks can be made, because the event itself, 10 out of 10, absolutely stellar, absolutely brilliant. The awards themselves, I just feel like they're teetering on. There's something needs to be done, and then they're obviously trying, because that's where this gold, silver, bronze came from. I just feel like that they need to encourage more to join and be involved, and that means more categories.
Give us all the. Like, I know they interview the winners on their podcasts and stuff, but again, we don't know how candid they actually are on those podcasts. Actually, they'd have had to be quite transparent on their applications.
Yeah.
So I think like a case study needs to be published of every application, not just the winners, but every application that got shortlisted, so that we can pick and choose our learnings.
Exactly right. Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, moving on. Let's draw a line.
A few more comments come through, haven't we?
Suzanne. Yep. So Suzanne says, "Morning all. Sorry, late. Dealing with with PVA VAT returns.
Love a good PVA VAT return. Enjoy.
Not what you want on a Monday morning." Yeah. Sue Green says, "Good morning. How's your voice, Aaron? It's back, isn't it? Just about.
Yeah, we're on the way.
Don't give him sympathy. It was alcohol and singing abuse. Like." Stephanie Marshall says, "Good morning. Train signal is awful, but I'm here." And you were
any better though? That's like,
yeah. You were our winners. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure about a heart though, but yeah, that's good.
Clive Hand says, "Do they not give you feedback during the awards process? Do they help to future award applications?"
I think there is like a webinar you can go on to. It was such a long time since I did an application, but yeah, I think there is like a webinar you can go to. And there was, in fairness to them at Fab, they did do I think there was a whole session on applications and learning from mistakes and stuff like that. So they're trying their best. Hats off to they, and again, they're a small team. They're trying their best. I think maybe just the format makes it a little bit more difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah. And Marcus says, "Good morning, Marcus." Right, we've got software news.
Yay!
Although now I'm thinking about this, I'm not sure if we do.
Bye.
But
wait,
I'm going to announce it anyway.
Wait, we've got what?
Software news. Oh dear, Aaron's been playing with sound effects. I mean, it's better than last week. I'll give you that. So, Adfin have launched a new feature where you can create invoices within Adfin, which will then post to Xero, QuickBooks, etc., and collect the payments for, which is ideal, with the ability for reoccurring invoices coming very soon.
Nice.
Now, this is bigger than most people realize, because a lot of the firms I speak to, their staff don't have access to the QuickBooks, the Xero, etc. They don't want them to see all of that information, but they would like to get the invoice generating and stuff off of the admin or the business owner that does it and onto the people that are managing the relationship with the clients. Like, how many times do we have to play Chinese whispers of, right, thank you, client A, I'm going to put your price up by this as agreed in the meeting. Then I've got to go and tell the admin mishears something, or a date's misconstrued or something. Now that person that manages that client relationship can just go into admin and just go, oh, there we go, sorted, without giving access to QuickBooks and Xero and stuff if you don't want them to have. So yeah, very, very cool. Which, yeah, we've already started sending a few one-off, like our annual tax return ones through admin. It's gone very well. And the invoices that we generate are really nice. So yeah, we'll be looking to migrate all of our reoccurring invoices there into that one platform that all of our client managers can see and access and manage in the coming weeks. So very pleased to see that one come along. Any thoughts on that one, Aaron?
I mean, is there an import-export option at this point, or do you know?
They've always had an import option, so you can always
when that comes along.
Not at the moment,
okay,
no.
Okay.
But again, it's something they're looking at, because they've told me, because I asked them about that.
Yeah.
But again, it's a limitation of what they can pull from the API for QuickBooks and Xero as to what they can and can't do with it.
Yeah, but I think both of them have a template CSV, so maybe they can do something fancy with a CSV file. That as an option there. But no, this good news. I don't see the use of it for me and my firm, but that's absolutely fine. It's not, not every update needs to tick every box, right? And I can see that it's right for certain firms. I do like the idea of having it in this centralized hub, though, because it does mean that you can be a little bit agnostic. Maybe there's an opportunity then for you to not have to use software A and you can start using software B, because sometimes it's those recurring transactions and stuff like that that force you to stay in it, right? Like it'd be ludicrous to move, right?
We're still using QuickBooks as our firm's bookkeeping tool. I would probably prefer to move to Xero because the majority of our clients are there. But the fear of reoccurring invoices, like we reduced that pain point of the move in January when we moved to admin away from Go Cardless. But that reoccurring invoice malarkey. So I'm hoping to have all of that done by the end of November, which is our financial year end, so that December onwards we can move our books finally to Xero.
And I hope
it's one of those sticking points, as you say.
Yeah, I really hope as well, from admin's point, because they're building it from the day up, that from the ground up, shall I say, is they have an opportunity to go right. And obviously, you can't say anything here because this is it's probably in your NDA book somewhere that you've got to hand. But I really hope that this is an opportunity for them to think, right, well, who needs access to this generating invoice API? Realistically, it's not your FMS solutions. What you really need is you want your practice management solutions to be saying it, right? If I sign an engagement letter now, realistically, they're already setting up the what do you call it for me. What's to stop them in the future setting up our recurring template directly from that engagement letter, right? Now, obviously, you can't say anything, but that's the view that we would love to get to, and I just hope that this is the stepping stones, the starting point. We're at the bottom of the mountain, right? And we're walking our way up. And I hope that because they're building it from the ground up, they can think ahead and go, in the future, we might want to add this cool functionality, right? Which in reality, we can't have that confidence. Practice management tool can create invoices in, QuickBooks Xero and all that. Like, there's too many moving parts, too many problems, right? But if they can dedicate it to one solution, and that one solution can then be that, and we can make sure every box is ticked, every I is dotted, and everything else, I think there's a good chance that we can get some really cool functionality there. And if we can have like that sort of functionality later down the line, this is game changing, and I feel like this is where the start of that could come from.
Yeah, and from a practice management point of view, building into an API where admin built the invoice generating engine, that's going to be a lot easier than building our own invoice generating engine. So, because that's complex and the risk of it going wrong and stuff is really high. So yeah, no,
But you would have had the same problem of then having to push it to all the different ones, and it'd have been a headache, right? Now, if you can have that one central area, it feels like one could win from this.
Yeah. Watch this space is all I'll say. A couple of comments just come in. So Dave says, reminder to all ICB members for voting for your favourite softwares. Deadline to submit your vote is close of 5 p.m. today.
5 p.m. today.
That was a tight window.
Ooh. Interesting. And Mahmoud, just let us know who you think. Give us some shining examples of who you think should get some recognition.
Advin, we have AIM GB accountants. Advin, we've just moved over last week from for all of our direct debits. Very easy to set up. Brilliant customer service. Thank you, Peter. We love to hear it.
Did I make this up, and tell me if I've dreamt this? But did they say something about they've got a direct debit mandate import export tool or something there?
Yeah. So they can now. You can sign some paperwork, and they can contact your current direct debit mandate provider and migrate all of those mandates over to Advin for you. It's not a quick process. It's like 6 to 8 weeks, because that's the legal mandated process that you have to follow. You can't shortcut that.
Yeah.
But yes, they have now got that tool available.
Wow. Wow.
So just get in touch with them for that. Paul Wingram says, good morning. Sorry being late. Flu jab. All the joys. And Paul says, would be great for staff to invoice for ad hoc tasks instead of me having to send an invoice and a month later and dealing with the client asking what it was for. Yep, exactly. Like, so you can just give all your staff access to Advin, and they can go and raise the invoices they need to raise. So definitely. Cool. Let's get onto a topic then that we didn't manage to cover last week, but the more and more you and I think about this, the bigger and bigger the headache that's coming the industry's way. And we don't quite know when it's coming. Probably 27, 28, 29, because 29 is when it's going to be put in place, allegedly by. But digital IDs. So Keir Starmer has announced, not last week, the week before, that he's going to bring in digital IDs, and you've got to have a digital ID to be able to get a job in the UK. So another level of proof of ID, whereas normally you ask for a passport or driving license or something. You're going to have this digital ID for right to work.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think many have thought about the implications on the accounting and bookkeeping industry here, but you and I feel that these could be quite significant, not just from the point of view of that's another form of ID that AML companies are going to have to get their heads around and work out how to validate, and will there be APIs to the register to be able to sense check data coming in? But also, I mean, yours and my main concern is payroll and delivering payroll with this tool, because are we going to have to store the digital ID number in payroll software as proof of right to work when we submit our RTIs and stuff? Is that the employer's job? Is it the payroll facilitator's job to get and store and check that detail? This is one of those little announcements that's going to grow arms and legs for this industry, I think. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it hit the nail on the head. That was the first thought of mine, because they were talking about it like to get to, because again, like the idea behind this and the thing is actually a really good idea, right? It makes sense. Like, why are we having to rely on passports? Not everyone has passports, or driving license, which not everyone has driving license, right? Like the idea, let's mandate this form of identification, which is basically a passport and then everything else. And like, let's be honest, if they build it from the ground up, I'm giving a lot of credit here, but hopefully, fingers crossed, they could think about it actually truly being digital, right? What's to stop us this being an app on your phone, or in your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet, wherever it's going to be? So in theory, this could be quite a straightforward one, and it would solve a lot of issues. Like AML is a big one, right? What if this could be a way of where we can really help that AML process go through? But if they are going to go down this route of mandating it for payroll, that just seems like a lot of extra work that the payroll providers are going to have to consider. They're going to have to put in, they're going to have to update, we're going to have to figure out controls to put in place and all that sort of stuff. And it's not so bad on those going forward, right? Because it's same as you send them an onboarding form, they fill the onboarding forms. There's one extra box they can have to complete to do that. But then, what about all the historical ones? And does that mean we've also got to check that these are valid? Like, do we have to perform some sort of check to cross-reference this code before they go in? And then the other bit that we were talking off air as well was, well, what about our? So these are digital IDs, and then we've got the ASCP IDs that we need for Company's House, right? Oh, wait a minute, wait. Why are we not making all this in one?
Plus your national insurance number.
Yeah. like we're supposed to have this one login now. the dream was one login to rule them all. But this digital ID would be perfect for this new code that we're having to generate, right? Like if we could just delay or accelerate or whichever way around it's going to be, and then this is that code that works for this as well. Doesn't that make the most sense? Like, wouldn't that just make so much more logical sense? Just have this one code, one thing, and then everyone is fully on board of what that code is going forward. It baffles me, okay, none of this is actually like legitimately papered down at the moment, like signed off or anything else. Is all speculation, right? But it's just another one of those things where if we're not careful, there's going to be a lot more work put on our shoulders to deliver a service when really this could be avoided if it was just thought about a little bit more. And yeah, I'm for the idea of it, like the prospect of it all. I think that would be beneficial to everyone. Let's make AML checks and everything else easier for us going forward. But as always, I'm just worried about the execution. And history says I've got every right to be upset about the execution.
Yeah. Like, as you say, I see big benefits here, right? A brand new digital ID that you can put onto your Apple Wallet, your Google Wallet and stuff like they have in America. Fantastic. Yeah. The compliance, simple access and stuff. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And as you say, not everyone has a driving license. Like most people over 70 don't have a driving license. Most people over 70 don't have a passport anymore because it's expired and they don't plan to travel anymore. I mean, go to America. Like I think in the UK, I don't know the actual statistics at the moment, but in the UK, last I heard, like 80% of the UK population have passports. Go to America, less than 20% have passports because they just don't travel outside of the US.
Yeah.
And there's a huge wealth disproportion as well to that. That 20% of people that have passports generally are the wealthy ones who do travel outside the US regularly. But so there are benefits to having a standard ID. Like you turn 16, your national insurance number turns up in the post, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see the benefits, but it's where do those tentacles lead to? Like as a software vendor for payroll, like when do they start building this? When do they start looking at this? When do they start getting enough information to do anything about this? And do you have confidence to build this into your into your payroll software when, let's face it, everything else they've announced payroll related has been postponed, delayed, and cancelled recently? So it's another investment of time when you're not innovating, you're just meeting compliance. That may or may not happen. So yeah, I can see pros and I can see cons. And I don't think it's as well thought out for our industry as it could be at this point in time.
Yeah. But I suppose again, nothing's been made official as it, and maybe this can change, but they should have. Yeah, it's just sort of all been consolidated. That like
ID cards have been spoken about by every single government for decades.
Yeah.
Like nothing's ever happened. It's like the top trump card that they like to pull out every now and then when we're talking about security and immigration and stuff like that. And it's never actually come to fruition. Mm-hmm. So it could be another flash in the pan. But it's those little flash in the pans that as an industry we need to be monitoring and being aware of, because the impact is greater to our industry, I think most people will realize.
100%.
So yeah. Kirsty has said, curious, why do we need another number when we have already have national insurance number and the NHS number issued at birth? I mean, yeah, like we've got ID points. I mean, in theory, I'd hope that was all combined into the card to have that data there as one data point, but I doubt the government will have thought that bit through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do we even need a national insurance number if we've got this new ID number? Like, surely it replaces it, right? And and again, do we need to have the ASCP? What are we calling that? So that what's the new? What's
personal identifying number, personal ID number for companies out. Anyway, yeah,
exactly. So why is that not this new digital ID? Like, wouldn't that just make so much more sense? And you put your one digital ID, and then suddenly, oh look, all of your connections to company's house is all popping up, right? Like, yeah, I guess the pushback's always been, well, what about if they're not in the UK? What if they don't have a digital one? Well, then we need a way to make a temporary one, or
we always have redundancy options. Like
there's got there's sensible ways around this, right? And I don't know, it just winds me up that it seems like this is the sort of thing that could solve a lot of our problems if done correctly. But we know the history is not on our side on that, and more than likely it's going to cause us more work, and we're just going to end up. And what I feel sorry the most for is the payroll providers if this does come into play. Like, they've already got enough on their plates trying to build X, Y, Z at the moment and keep up. Like, this could be the straw that breaks the camel back for a lot of them if we're not careful.
Definitely. Okay, so let's touch on a topic we've not touched on very much recently. Aaron and I had feedback saying, "Oh, you talk about AI a lot." Well, we're going to talk about AI today because we haven't talked about AI properly in a few weeks. Not in a broad, like we covered Sage's AI last week and stuff like that, but not in a broad day in, day out. This is how I'm using AI tools in my day-to-day work. And we realized off air that actually that some things have changed recently for both of us. And we've dropped some things, we've picked up some things, we've given up with some things because they've just not been able to build them into our personal routines and our personal workflows. I mean, Aaron, is there any top AI that, whether you've mentioned it before or it's brand new to your work, your tech stack, as it were, that you think people need to know about this at the moment?
Well, the one doing at the Lions at the moment is Excel's agent, right? Agent for Excel. So Copilot, Microsoft Copilot. I think it's a hot mess at the moment. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm really struggling to make it consistently work, and it's giving me problems. It's coming up with token issues, and it's asking me to sign in and out again. It's a hot mess, and that's something that will get fixed over time, right? But what I was excited about it was I just currently did a video where my idea was to do ChatGPT versus AI versus Copilot Agent AI, Excel Agent AI, and QuickBooks, and it was like which of these AI could work, like the little battle between them all. I think it comes out tomorrow, but I had to drop the Excel one because it was just completely and utterly unusable. Like, it was just, you could see the frustration in my face when I was trying to make this work. But when I take that one away and look at the other two, how far we have come is unbelievable. So the premise of this particular task was that I had 12 months worth of bank statements. I was just going to upload them and prepare a set of accounts on them. Prior to this, I'd already kind of prepped it as if I'd have done it manually, it would look like this. And, I'd put a pivot table together, and I used an if sum, and I used a unique formula in Excel. And I tried to be as efficient as I possibly could with this data and used all the tricks of the trade, but it was still manual, right? It still mean there was someone having to put X amount of, time into it to achieve this end result. And with this one, what I did was I grabbed that bank statement, I put it into ChatGPT, and I gave it one prompt. Here's 12-month bank statements. Please prepare me a set of accounts. Off to the races you go. And in QuickBooks, I just uploaded it, used the auto categorizing technique, so I hands off completely, and I just assessed what it came out with. I put 12 months in, what came out at the end of it. And first of all, so impressed. Both of these, like, we wouldn't have even considered this a year ago, right? But both of these came out with a result. Now, was that result 100% spot on? No. Like, there was definitely work that needed to be done on both ends. But the fact that from a amount of time put in to get to that point was nothing, right? There was zero time spent at all. It was literally just the upload process and the prompt process, and you can automate that if you want to. And both of them came to a point where they were giving me an answer and they were going through it. And this one had a few complications, right? So it was they were using Amazon and eBay, so there was having to gross up the income, and there was things like that that had to be done there. ChatGPT were able to do that, was able to bring that in and like put a great estimation together and start building that in. So that's where the strengths are there, and you could then probably give it more prompts, like, oh, what about if you add use of home? There's depreciation. Here's my opening balances, like, and I think I think in the video I even added like opening balances to it, and how did that affect it, and all that sort of stuff, right? And it was really impressive that it got to an end result. Now, again, that end result, I wouldn't say was of good quality. I think there was definitely some problems there. I think as accountants and bookkeepers, we would rip it apart and send it back to the drawing board. But I think there is definitely enough there that the fact that it could do that, and we've got the ability to create your own chat GPT these days, and you could teach it, right? You could go into the background and teach it that when it sees this, do this and everything else. And maybe that's a video idea for later in the year, that let's try and teach one to do a set of accounts from scratch, right? I was really impressed with that. But what I was hoping for the agent AI from Copilot to do was, yes, it could do the same as what ChatGPT, but in an environment where then I could take that end result and I could manipulate it to my heart's content. Like, I could fix this, do that, do everything else. You know what I mean? Like, I could then do more with it so that I could be in a result where I'm happy and I'm confident. And then that's where, realistically, I suppose everyone would have seen it was kind of it's a very clickbaity title, isn't it? Who's going to win, ChatGPT versus a dedicated bookkeeping solution, right? Obviously the dedicated bookkeeping solution is going to win, because it gives us all the tools at the end just to go, well, all right, let's just put this here, put that there, do, and we're fixed, right? Like, it's designed for that, right? And I'm just so impressed of how far we've come to that point, and especially with the fact that we've got more agent stuff coming down the line and everything else. There is a world where we could automate some of this, and the world of MTD and everything else where there's not that much meat on the bone. I think this could be a really good tool in our tool case going forward that we just need to keep an eye on and understand where it comes from. That being said, I just don't understand why Microsoft can't, like, at this point, can't give us something comparable when they've had so much time on there, and it just feel like that there's something not quite right working there, not quite going to play. So yeah, it almost feels like the Excel agent one is just like so much potential, but it's not being realized yet. So yeah, frustrating. What about you, Johann? Anything you've been using it for, or any feedback on that?
I think I've got my mindset around ChatGPT nailed now.
Okay.
So ChatGPT is your accounting junior.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you've just said there about what ChatGPT did, but actually you ripped it apart and you sent it back to start again almost. Is that any more different than a year one accounting junior would have
100%.
achieved?
100%.
So actually, that thought process stands up there. So, if a client comes to me and says, Johann, I've got this business I'm looking to buy. Here's the last 3 years worth of accounts. Would you have a look at it? Can we have a meeting and a chat about it? I can whack those into ChatGPT, Teams version, so it's completely private, and go, right, review these accounts. And it will come back with all the, oh, you want to keep an eye on this pattern and this trend, and here's the profitability as a percentage and stuff. And you go back and you calculate it, but actually it's really accurate. It's done a really good job. So within minutes, I can then go away, and then I can say, oh, research the industry. What, is there any legislation changes that might cause a valuation increase or decrease type thing? Within minutes, I can go and have that meeting with a client and have conversation points that, and that is all that they are, is conversation points that will then steer our conversation and stuff like that. And I won't just go in and not read the accounts first, obviously, and, all that obvious stuff. But it's a really strong start. a tool that's really blowing my mind at the moment is Fixer,
Yeah.
Fixer AI for emails. And this is what I don't understand is why tools like Copilot, Microsoft Outlook should be amazing. And what does it let you do? It lets you summarize an email. I don't trust summarizing because it always misses something important. That's the one thing I want to do myself is read a full email, like full stop. Why can't it then help me with a reply? Or why do I have to put an instruction in to help it with a reply when Fixer can read the email and construct a reply? The other day, Fixer went in, read an email, categorized it as it does, drafted a full response for me. And to have drafted that full response, it had to read the 3 attached documents.
Amazing. Yeah.
And came up with a response. And you know what? That response was spot on. Because I would have gone too far, right? I'd have given away all the cookies out the cookie jar. Whereas it just showed them the cookie jar saying, look, Johann's got these. So they're after some tax advice. And it came up with the whole, oh, if you do this, there are going to be consequences we need to look into deeper. If you do that, this might happen. That it was high level enough that as it should be as a initial inquiry. It didn't give any of the value away that meant I could then have a meeting with them to deliver that value. Now that, for me, is just phenomenal. The fact that it can draft responses, read attachments, etc., without any effort from me, and I can come in and go, read that draft. Yeah, that's fine. Send. Like a client asked me the other week about the classic leasing versus buying of a motor vehicle and the implications on to their personal tax benefit in kind and stuff. Oof. It had done it. It even put in links to HMRC's guidance in the email before I'd even logged in. And so you just go, well, why can't the big boys do that? That's what it should be. I shouldn't have to go like this. Things like Spark Email, which I used to use, but their AI option is you have to do you want a thumbs up, a neutral, or a thumbs down, and then it will draft a response based on what type of response you want from that, and you have to put prompts in. So by the time I've done this, I may as well have just written the email.
Yeah,
it's
or at least
ridiculous.
put the bullet points, and it would have done it for you, right? Like, yeah.
And it's like, well, I may as well write it then if I'm going to do that. But yeah, Fixer AI has absolutely blown my mind recently. I'm really impressed with it. And I was actually looking at it over the weekend on its website because I'm nosy. I want to see what's coming, any updates and stuff. But what I'm really liking about a lot of these AI tools now is they're stating what security processes they've got. So this one's GDPR compliant, it's SOC 2 compliant, it's HIPAA compliant. Like it's really high level. But yeah, so Fixer AI is a huge win. I love ChatGPT. I can't get on with Gemini. I can't get on with Claude. But so Gemini, I don't trust. I don't understand the security behind it.
Yeah, they've not been upfront, have they? Yeah.
Whereas ChatGPT, I know if I go into Teams, that is bulletproof. Claude, I've just never had any reason to test it. I hear that it's really good for writers and stuff, and it's like, well, it's not really something I do on a day-to-day basis, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I know. All right. But Copilot, that the team and I are now considering switching Copilot off.
Wow.
The only value Copilot has for us is recording and transcripts of team calls.
Yeah.
At which point it's like, actually, I can get that done cheaper and with more bells and whistles, to be fair, elsewhere. Because Copilot in the Outlook is horrific. It's crap. Like there is no benefits to it. Outlook in Copilot in PowerPoint and in Word, we don't really use those two tools to start with. Never mind the fact it's crap. And you've just said Copilot in Excel is just a mess. So yeah, I mean, we've only got 3 Copilot licenses, but we've already decided they will not be renewed at the end of the year. Like, done, gone. It's it's just a mess. And as Paul says, go on.
Well, just before that, I still feel that the convenience of Microsoft Copilot in Teams is still there, right? Like that's still there, even though it winds me up that it can't do telephone calls, which I still don't understand, right? Like I pay to do telephone calls through Teams, like that is our platform. Like other people have third party, right? But we literally pay the module so that we can make telephone calls in Teams. So why can't Copilot like transcribe them for us? Why do I have to have another device on and then having the sound coming out through a different thing to record that conversation? It baffles me, right? But regardless of that, and I think that's my overriding thing with Copilot and Microsoft is I think they're trying to do too much too soon, aren't they? And that's what it is. And like they've just not nailed any of it. Like there's things, and that Outlook one is perfect. It winds me up because I'm still trying to use Grammarly's still my number one in terms of like just to proofread and make sure your spelling's right and all that sort of stuff, right? And that's what I want it to do. And Copilot's now just conflicting with it all the time, fighting it, and it just winds you up. And the way that I know that there's no immediate hope with it is it still doesn't know how to do a junk email. It doesn't matter how many times I say, don't tell me about this again, like, or they now have, I don't know if you've seen in Microsoft, but there's now other and focused and all that, like this is always other. I'm not interested. I don't want it to go to junk because I delete my junk on a regular basis, but at the same time I'm not like, I don't need to be disturbed about this. Isn't priority to me. I'll read it at some point when I've got time. Put it to other, whatever, and this is a focus. I'm doing that on the same email from the same person 3 times a day sometimes, right? Like that's how frustrating it is. And if this AI is supposed to be any good at all, they're the bits where they've had years and years and years to perfect this. Like that was AI back in the day, wasn't it? Like a junk filtering system is the primitive form of AI, right? And they can't even nail that. Like they can't get that bit right. So yeah, you're right. Their implementation is bad. I mean, it's damning that you're not going to renew it. I think I'm just going to renew it just because it's still there, right? It's just part and parcel at this point. And in fairness to them, the prices have come down and they've started to incorporate more in the cost of the subscription. So I think even if you didn't pay for Copilot now, I think you're still going to get a lot of this functionality still there, which is a good thing. That's good for consumer. But yeah, other than the Teams one, it's frustrating. Shall we jump on the on the point? So go for it.
So Paul says, in regards to your video, is that where Intuit Assist, Sage Copilot, and Jax should be focusing on what you're doing? So yes.
Yeah, and I think this is where they need to learn from ChatGPT, right? Because the best thing about ChatGPT, especially, and if you haven't done it, start trying to build your own ChatGPT. Like try and just build one from scratch. And the one I would always recommend, because when we started off we've evolved it so much over time, it's just a simple review of your, like even if you're a one-man band, just someone to just look at it. This particular one we dump in a set of accounts, dump in some working papers, and it just goes through some of those basics for us. Has the registered office actually been updated? That sort of thing. It goes to company's house, has a look for you. Is the directors up to date? Blah blah blah. Simple things like that. If you put new capital allowances in, have you put that into your tax workings? Is the tax workings agreeing to the bank to the account? And it just creates a little table for it, little ticks on it, and it just gives you that confidence, right? And a little link so you can check yourself if you want to. Like for a starting point, build yourself one of them. Like build yourself your own little checker and everything else. Because what you'll see is on one side you've got prompts and teaching it, and the other side is where the chat GP or chat GPT is going to be. But you're going to learn how to teach it to do things, and we got that bit wrong, but next time try it this way and stuff like that, right? That's what we're missing from Sage Copilot, Jax, and Intuit Assist at the moment, is that, right, okay, you've made the assumption this, but in future for my practice I want you to do it this way.
You can't refine it.
And you can't refine that at this point. I think that's the bit they're all missing at the moment. That's where they need to give us that tool. As the accountant bookkeepers, we're the one that's going to be promoting this, pushing this, investing in this, and everything else. Like, give us a tool so we can have confidence in it. I think that's what it needs to be focusing on, not necessarily like wowing us at the moment. It needs to give us the tools to rein it in if we need to.
Yeah. Peter from AIM Accountants, first step into AI. I've ordered a Claude Note Pro on Saturday. Nice. Yeah, that is looking like a smart bit of kit for all users. So let us know how you get on with that. So yeah, definitely let us know how you get on with that. That would be interesting. I'm holding off at the moment because I can't tell what comes with the Claude Pro itself and what is going to be in the app in October.
Yeah, and
I imagine
we don't know what OpenAI, who do they just acquire? But we don't know what they're building, right?
Johnny Reeves business. Yeah.
Is it Lovable? Is that right? I made that up.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting space at the moment. Clive says, is anyone using N8N and ChatGPT for automated workflows? Not yet. I've not got into that yet. Have you?
I'm still using the whole, it goes in and it will send out reminders for stuff that hasn't been signed. So that's so it goes into Engager, goes in, and does stuff like that. I'm waiting to go any further than that. I'm happy that I know that it works and that I've kind of got a working model and I've kind of seen how it goes. So I've kind of scratched that itch for me, but I'm waiting for desktop mode. Like that is what I'm waiting for. When desktop mode comes in, I've already got a dedicated computer. It's behind me, sat there. And that's the computer that's going to be used for this because I know I can lock it down. I know I can only give it certain permissions. I know I'm in full control. And I just need that extra step of, and then maybe it's just me being me, right? But I just know then that I can own that and I can make it do a little bit more, and I can see the full results from and sit there and watch it every now. So that's what I'm going to be waiting for. Desktop mode. I imagine it's it'll be a yearly cycle, right? They brought out agent mode, and I imagine a year later.
Who's just announced desktop mode? Did Claude just announce desktop mode?
Did they? Oh, well, there we are. I'm jumping. I'll stay.
I think they did.
But if anything, that makes ChatGPT and OpenAI go, oh, okay, maybe we need to accelerate. So fingers
hopefully. Paul says, I use Fixer AI for note taking in Teams now. It will even join meetings and take notes if I miss the meeting. Yeah, I need to play with the settings with Fixer for the meetings, but I've turned it off completely because it's really spammy.
Oh, okay.
So basically, if you and I were to have a meeting, Aaron, in our diary, Fixer will email you beforehand saying, don't forget about this meeting. If you want to record it using Fixer, here you go. Sign up to an account here. And then after the meeting, you get an email coming to you saying, here's a summary. If you want, basically, it's their go-to-market tactic of how to, plus, if I have a team meeting and everyone's on Fixer, that's 10 versions of Fixer, 10 versions of notes, etc. Whereas at least Teams only records the one recording for the whole meeting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to refine Fixer's settings because I'm sure most of it's stuff I can turn off and on appropriately. And I do like the idea that Fixer sits there and records all the meeting, and then it can use that information in email responses coming up.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice.
So you and I have a meeting. You then email me a few days or a few weeks later about that meeting with follow-up stuff. It can go, hang on, we had a meeting about this. Let's have a look at the transcript and then respond to you properly with that.
Nice.
So
which again, why can't Copilot at least give reference to it, right? Like it's got all that information. It's there. It's out there.
My biggest headache now with Fixer is the fact that if you're not using Outlook or Gmail as the email app, Fixer's awful.
Yeah.
So if I was to use Apple Mail on my phone, Fixer would generate the draft email, but it goes into the draft folders, and Apple Mail doesn't store information in the same conversational mode as Outlook and Gmail does. And it's like, it's not ideal. And I'd like to get away from the Outlook app if I could.
And I know this will never happen, but I just wish there'll be a better way for third-party note-taking apps to get into your Teams and your Zoom calls, right? Other than having to invite this extra person who
it's weird.
It's just not elegant, is it? Like, and it always, it always, makes it frustrating. Like, am I letting your AI person in today or not? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's become the new starting line, hasn't it? And I just wish there was a better, more elegant way of doing that. And I think obviously Microsoft and Zoom and everything are never going to allow that, because why would they? Like, why wouldn't they want you to use their own AI that they've spent billions on? But yeah, it'd just be nice if they could.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Well, that is it. We have run out of time. We'll move a couple of topics into next week's conversation, which actually gives us a chance to test those topics a bit more. But to everyone that's joined us this week, thank you so much for all your comments and your insights. Hopefully that conversation around AI was of use and value to you, and it wasn't just two fanboys going on about it as per usual. We are looking at how we can do something separate for AI as a separate series, but watch this space for more information on that. Aaron, what have you got coming up this week?
Really busy week in terms of bigger picture stuff, which is going to be good. So yeah, we've got some big decisions to make, big stuff to sort out. So yeah, no, I'm glad, and I'm glad other than this one meeting I've got today, I'm in the office or sat here, and yeah, be some late nights, but it'll be worth it. And getting stuff ready. What about yourself?
I've got a whole week at home.
Nice.
Just cracking
in the
on.
Office is what you're supposed
in the
to
office. Yeah. Just cracking on. Lots to get on with as always. But yeah, a lot's happened in the last few weeks in the firm, in Engager and stuff. So I'm just hoping things will calm down a bit now and crack on, basically.
Yeah, 100%. Brilliant. All right.
Well, thank you very, very much for everyone who's joined us again this week. We will see you all here, same place, same time next week.
Bye.
Bye.